Alright guys, we're on page 38, section 2.2 of your student journal. How can you multiply two polynomials? So the last thing we did was adding and subtracting, which is an essential skill for multiplying. So remember from last time, this is 1 and 1. What's 1 times 1? 1. 1 times negative 1, negative 1. X times 1 is x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, right? And as you go through this, really it's just mostly like, okay, can you figure out, x times negative 1? That's a negative x, right? Negative x times positive 1, that's also a negative x. Negative times a negative is a positive x. Then we have x times x, which is x squared. X times negative x, which is negative x squared. And lastly, negative x times negative x, which is positive x squared. Okay, so go ahead and take a second look at that, make sure you understand it. This is really key to our understanding of multiplying, guys. You should understand that when you multiply something by itself, it's just that that thing squared is another way of expressing it. So when I go out here, this is multiplication symbol. That's what's happening between these guys. They're being multiplied. So I have x, 1, 2, 3. So that's x plus 3. And then I have x minus 1, 2. So that's x minus 2. And this is x squared. X times x is x squared. All right, over here. Oh no, focus. Okay, so last thing I said was x times x is x squared. Then we have x times negative 1 is negative x. X times negative 1 is negative x. And then, you're just multiplying all over again a bunch of times. And so to wrap it all up, let's just see what we have in total. We have 1x squared, that's this. We have, autofocus, come on, where are you at? Okay, there we go. Here we go. So we have x squared right here. Then we have x, that's 3x. Then we have negative x and negative x, which is negative 2x. So we have 5 x's total, but 3 of them are positive and 2 of them are negative. So if I have 3 positives and 2 negatives, that's essentially plus 3 minus 2, which is 3 minus 2, or 1x. The next thing is we have 6 negatives, so that's minus 6, and that's that. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4x squared. Then I have positive 2x right here. Then I have negative 2x right here. And positive 2x and negative 2x just cancel each other out. Then I have negative 1. Here, so if you're good at the drawing, then just do the drawing. What I'm about to do is for those of you who are not so good at that, don't forget we're just multiplying. So x times x, you just write it right there instead of drawing anything. X times x is x squared. X times negative 1 is negative x. I have 1 times each of these things, so 1 times x, 1 times x, 1 times negative 1. And then I have 1 times x, 1 times x, and 1 times negative 1. So I have 2x squared, positive 4x, and negative 1x. So it's like these cancel out, and I have 1, 2, 3x. And then I have negative 2. Okay. Lastly, we have negative x minus 2 times x minus 3. So this will be a negative x squared. Positive x, positive x, positive x. Negative times a negative makes a positive. I have negative x over here. So negative x over here. Then I have plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have negative x squared. I have 3 positives and 2 negatives, so it makes a positive 1. And I have 6 positives. Okay? So if you're writing your notes, I would say, number 1, how can you multiply polynomials? Multiply. That's the first thing you multiply. X plus 2, multiply by 2x minus 1. Multiply, and then simplify. which is another way of saying combine like terms. Or if you're a drawing person, then that means count the squares. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 1, that's 3 total. That's combining like terms. Or up here, 1, 2, 3, 4x squared, that's combining like terms. FOIL method. So this is the example I used in class all day today. Was x plus 5 and x minus 8. So FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, last. So the first terms are x times x. The outer terms are x and negative 8. So x times negative 8 is negative 8x. Inner is in the middle. 5 times x is positive 5x. And lastly, we have 5 times negative 8, which is negative 40. So I just multiplied everything. That was step 1. Here's step 2. Simplify. Combine like terms. X squared minus 3x minus 40. That's it. There you have it. So these are, it says use the distributive property. I mean, if you FOIL, like, I'm not really particular about what method you use. As long as you know, as long as you know. This one, even though I just said I don't particularly care which one you use, this is what I particularly push, because if you draw it out, it's much harder to make mistakes. Whereas if you're here and you're just writing stuff out, then it's possible you make a mistake, or it's much more likely, I think, than it is if you do a table. So I'm gonna work through number 4, number 7, and then number 20 with you. So number 4, it says use distributive property. I'm just gonna do FOIL. So first, a times 2a is like saying a times 2 times a, which is really just 2a squared. Outer, inner, last. Simplify. Here, using a table, it is very similar to what we did right here, where you'll multiply it and then combine like terms to get something like this. So you say x times x is x squared, negative 3 times x is negative 3x, x times negative 2 is negative 2x, and negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Negative 3 and negative 2 make a negative 5x, and there you have it. Okay, so that's that, and then I'll do one more example problem for you. Number 20. So I wanted to do this because FOIL shows you how to do a 2x2. These tables you can do with anything. So I'm actually, we could do that, but I will also show you this. So this is tables or the box method. You just multiply 2 times 3a squared is 6a squared. 2 times 3a is 6a. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Negative a times 3a squared is negative 3a cubed. Negative a times 3a is negative 3a squared. And then I have negative a times negative 5, which is positive 5a. You can combine like terms here. So I have negative 3a cubed. There's nothing else that's a cube. 6a squared minus 3a squared is positive 3a squared. 6a plus 5a is 11a, and then negative 10. There's your answer in standard form. Beautiful. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know. But otherwise, now you know how to multiply polynomials.